That. All right, let's see.
All right.
Say something.
Hi there, Manny. How are you? I'm talking to Manny. I'm talking to Manny and Manuel Ramirez. Ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
I don't know. See, I still hear the
A little echoey, but you know.
Little echoey, but that's it.
It's all good.
Studio.
Yeah. Which one are you? You are mic number 1.
Am I? There I am. I'm mic number 1, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
I'm mic number 1. There we go.
All right.
Oh, that's a little hummy. Little hummy. Little hot.
I think this is where it is. I think this is where we live.
All right. That's fine with me.
All right.
And you can always, as they say, fix it in post.
We could fix it in post. 100%.
All right.
You don't have to wear that. I'll monitor the.
Yeah, you monitor
levels.
the thing. And then,
I'll do the thing.
Do I look gay when I cross my legs like that?
It looks. Yeah, it's pretty gay. Yeah.
Just sit masculine.
Yeah. You don't want to let the people know that you're gay, like off the bat. Yeah. You want to make that a surprise.
Retired.
Yeah. Retired gay?
Retired gay.
Where am I? Yep, there I go. Look at me tooling around. This is not a home improvement podcast. All right, so
generous.
That I don't know. I don't know how.
Generous lover. That's a nice way of saying I have to pay for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is,
right. I mean, I paid a homeless guy for just because of my conscience today. Yeah.
You paid him in a sausage sandwich.
I gave him,
which is another euphemism.
I paid him 2 sausages and 2 beers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're a humanitarian.
I am.
You're a humanitarian. You're giving to people.
I gave a homeless guy 2 beers and 2 sausages.
See?
Now there's dead air.
No, I mean, 2. It is odd that there's 2 of each.
Yeah.
You know, because it's rather a passive
He was saving
aggressive.
it for later.
Well, no, because not only did you feed him, you said, "Fine, I'm going to overfeed you." Now that double serving is going to work on his heart disease. He'll be dead in a week.
I feel like you're missing. Like you're giving me too much credit. He demanded that it was 2 sausages and 2 beers. I was like, how about 1 sausage, 1 beer? So I was like negotiating with this homeless guy about how much I should give him for free. And he was like, no, how about 2 sausages and 2 beers? And he won. I was like, fine. Because I pulled up in a very nice car. And
I said, that's a 2 sausage guy.
He knows I'm a 2 sausage guy.
Yeah, a 2 sausage guy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe he had an unseen friend around the corner.
Yeah. When you look at my pants, you don't think I'm a 2 sausage guy. You're just like, is there a sausage in there?
Could I tag that joke? Yes, I could. Will
Please.
I? No.
You could.
No.
So, real quick, let me just introduce the podcast.
Oh, hi. I didn't know we had people here.
There's people here. I don't know who's watching this, but if you are, thank you for watching this. This is episode 4.
Thanks, Dave.
Of the podcast Manny Tools Around. And I have a wonderful guest, and I can't thank you enough for doing this, Rick.
You know,
Rick Crom.
When you asked me,
yeah,
you know, I just thought 2 words. I'm available.
Yeah.
So here I am for
Thank you.
No, actually, we just had a wonderful class in here earlier. We're coming to you from my studio. We're not at the Comedy Cellar. This is a studio above the Players Theater that I rent where we hold our comedy classes, and I made it look like a little comedy club.
And it looks fantastic. Well, you are a staple of the Comedy Cellar.
This is my 40th year at the Comedy Cellar.
That's amazing.
1984, I came here. I started working here. I think I came here before that a few times with a group called Chicago City Limits, which is an improv group. And I was their piano player and their backup act. And I would do all the sound effects and things like that. And they had a piano player here, sidekicking with the MC, Bill Grunfest, and the piano player was Charles Zucker, and he went out to L.A. And when he went out to L.A., they asked me if I'd be interested in it, and that was 1984. So
that was it. So
it was around this time of year. What is it? It's just May. So I believe it was April, May of 84. Yeah.
So it's almost like dead on.
Yeah.
40 fucking years.
Went very quickly, 40 years.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm 36, and I feel like I have too many responsibilities already.
Yeah, I think that you're right in the thick of it now.
Yeah.
36, you still are clinging to a possible future.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this.
Whereas I, at 67, realize it's over soon.
Yeah.
And so I should just relax and enjoy what we have.
Well, I remember you have a wonderful documentary out called Oh Rick.
Oh, thank you.
And I was watching that, and
that was produced and directed by two fellows, Dustin Sussman and Aaron Rosenblum, and it was totally their idea.
Well, shout out to those fellas.
Yeah, that was 2017.
2017. All right, nice, cool.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I've ever actually interacted with them. Are they
They were
filmmakers?
Well, Aaron wasn't a student, but Dustin was.
Dustin was a comedy student.
A comedy student,
Yeah.
probably 3 or 4 years before that.
Okay,
And he's a producer out in LA now too.
nice. So everybody that you meet just goes to LA and does other shit.
And why wouldn't they?
Right. It's
What,
sunny.
you're going to get on at McDougal Street somewhere? No.
Yeah. So we were talking about ages, and I remember you had a quote on your documentary that said, if you told me when I was 25 I was 59, that would not be a great success. I'd fucking kill myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was I 59 at the time?
Yeah. I relate to that a ton.
It's not success so much as it is a big star, or what we think of as, fame and fortune.
Yeah.
Defining success as that, I think, is a big mistake, no matter, what field you're in. But certainly back then, you need to think that you're going to be the biggest star in the world.
Yeah. You have to have that drive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as other people might call it, delusion.
Right.
But you don't know it's delusion until
you're 59.
It's proven otherwise. You
Yeah.
know. So why not go for it?
But I feel like you are a great success.
I feel. Thank you.
You might not feel like it, but you are a great success.
I do feel, because I redefined the definition of success personally, and the old idiom is that it's doing what you love in the pursuit of at the height of your. That's not how you say it. They said it better than me.
Yeah.
But doing what you want for a living, the best you can do it.
Doing what you love and just doing it
at a level of excellence
peak that you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're making a living and feeling personally fulfilled artistically, then I think you win.
You kind of fucking won, exactly.
I think you win.
I
I don't think that, so-and-so got a Netflix special and I didn't.
Yeah.
Or they got on the Tonight Show and I didn't.
That's like a slippery slope to, well, what about this? What about this guy? What about this guy?
Yeah.
And then you don't see like how far you've come up, and it kind of cheapens it. And I think that a lot of people, like not only just comedians, but like in general, like in a creative process, they're so in their heads. I get in my head, and even like if I have a show that bombs, again, I'm pretty new at comedy, like relatively. Mm-hmm. So it's like when I have a bomb, I take it more personally.
Yes.
So it's like, it's the same way like with life. It's like, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but everybody else sees you rising and what you've become. And I feel like if you just take a step back and just see, holy shit, I am a staple of the Comedy Cellar, which you are. I've done this for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help but like watching the documentary a couple times and just seeing like all these great people that just have nothing but like great things to say. And
well, we cut the negative ones out.
Right.
That bastard owes me $50.
I'm actually going to cut all the good stuff out of this.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's just going to be like I'm just going to, it's just going to be a smear of Rick.
Well, I've been fortunate to have great relationships with these comedians who were not big stars at the time I met them. And a lot of them were my late nighters at the Comedy Cellar in late 80s, where you could hang out and get on after midnight. Well, not like today, where
I would suck someone's dick to get on this stage.
That's how I got on.
Yeah.
No,
well, times have changed. I've sucked a lot of dicks, and I'm still on.
just not the right ones.
Not the right dicks. Yeah.
No, I think that when you think that in say 1988 or 87.
So when I was born.
Well, okay, but if we think that my late nighters, and when I say my late nighters, the club stayed open till 2 a.m. Our show ended during the week at around midnight in terms of booked comedians, but we still had to stay open till 2 a.m. And so my late nighters were people like Sarah Silverman, Dave Attell, Jim Gaffigan, Judah Friedlander, Jay Moore. I mean,
that's crazy.
And many
but it makes
more,
sense, yeah.
many more than that. But those are the ones who were doing sets anywhere they could all over the city. And so they would come down to the cellar, and I put them on. But they were just beginning. They were in their first and second year, some of them.
Wow.
So
so you've seen a ton of greats, like where I am now, essentially.
Like
so
who?
So where I am now.
Where you are now.
Yeah, so like a couple years
I don't see it happening for you, but
No,
those
it's fine,
people...
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I blame you.
Yeah.
You were my teacher.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't take it personally if a student doesn't succeed.
Right.
It's the stupid business.
It is.
It's a stupid business. Why anybody would get into it at this point, I don't know. Yeah. I just know that the people who get into it you can't tell them not to get into it.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing this.
I know.
Yeah.
This goes back to the original thing. When you're 25, you have to have that sense of I can do anything.
Yeah.
And when you're 37, you have to have the
36,
sense.
but thank you.
Well, same thing.
I'll be 37 when it airs. I'm just kidding.
It's never a bad bet to believe in yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
You could be wrong about a certain thing you're attempting to do, but you can't approach things like, I'm probably going to suck at this, because then you will.
Exactly.
Anyway, I didn't know, when I first started, I knew I had a lot of, as a performer, as a musician, a singer, actor, I knew I had a lot of raw ability, but I didn't realize at the time how bad my material was, how really hacky stuff. But I was 20 years old. What did I know? What did I know about life?
You didn't know shit, yeah.
But I knew how to play the guitar and do some impressions and write a few jokes, and it's what I wanted to do. So, being exposed, staying in the game and being exposed to all the greats, you do tend to learn a lot.
Yeah.
Learn a lot. So,
find your
forward motion is the best you can do. And you don't want to waste time thinking about, that guy got ahead of me. That he's got a special. And, he only got that special because he's good looking. Or he only got that special.
Matt Rife.
I didn't say that.
I said it.
Or what?
I actually like Matt Rife, by the way.
I like him too.
Yeah. He's actually a nice dude. I met him downstairs.
Oh, he better be.
Yeah.
That's what they used to say. Is he funny? Nice guy.
Yeah. Super nice guy.
He better be.
Yeah.
That's sometimes when I hear about these old pros saying nice things about me. They never say I'm funny. Yeah. They do say nice guy.
They do though. They all say
nice
you're
guy.
Hilarious. And I've looked at all, the doc has a ton of your tapes. That guy did his research. What's his name? Dustin. Dustin, you did your fucking research. That doc is like phenomenal, and you are hilarious. Like all the things that all these comics are saying, these like legends of comedy, they're like holding you like on a pedestal that you are the best MC ever. And I have to
I'm not the best
agree.
MC ever, but I had a great teacher with Bill Grunfest, who was the person.
So that was your teacher.
He started the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
And he was my teacher in the sense that they hired me to be his sidekick.
Yeah.
And he hired me to be a sidekick. And I had done so I was 27, so I was like 7-ish years in, but doing comedy, but not like an every night thing. I was doing improv, I was doing music. But I learned from Bill emceeing techniques that I didn't know, and how to keep a show moving. And because at that time, the MC had to come up and do a few minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes between each act. It wasn't like now when we have 100 acts on one show and you just have to do 30 seconds to get off.
Yeah.
You had to actually keep the show moving and things like that. So
I feel like
I learned so
way.
much from Bill about that.
Yeah.
That's what made me a good independent MC. And together, Bill and I, because Bill left for LA in the 90s to work on Mad About You, but from 84 to 90, people would come to see us at the Comedy Cellar do our team stuff back and forth in between the comedians. And the comedians often hated what we were doing because we weren't doing stand-up. We were doing team stuff and silly stuff, crowd filler stuff, but it kept the show going. Exactly. It was different from the stand-up. It kept them
awake,
Kept them awake, and it also... It was funny.
Yeah, it kept them in a good mood, and I feel like a lot of people.
And it was a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
So I mean, if you have one neurotic comedian, then you have another neurotic comedian, then you have another. It all starts to sound like the same note over and over again. So having a little variety in between was a novelty, and we did it very well. And then I learned to do that to my own when I was emceeing on my own to bring that element to it. So
I think that's vastly important, and I think that actually set the stage for what a good host or MC is supposed to be. Because a good host, or an MC makes or breaks a comedy show. Because
he can.
He can
definitely break it.
It can definitely break it. Because I've seen some MCs or hosts, do a show at an 8 o'clock, and a different host at a 10 o'clock. Same lineup. But, the host is different, and it's just night and day. One host actually keeps them awake and lively, and it's the same, amount of people, but, like, the show just goes differently because of, how, like, the tone, they set the tone, and I feel like you always set the tone, like, just right. I remember, like, the first
idea
class
is to keep them entertained as well. Yeah. Rather than just
that's a talent. That's a huge skill. Yeah.
Well, it's also an opportunity for you to shine in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, that too.
Right? I think that, I've said this on the documentary too, if you're going to host the show and you're going to get really good at hosting, that is something that you have to understand. It's a double-edged sword, because you might be the funniest guy on the show, but in the people's mind and the people in the industry who come to see an industry showcase, you're just the MC, and you're not going to get the Tonight Show audition because you're the MC. And it's just a mindset. You could be the funniest person on the show, but you have to embrace that. If you're going to do it, then do it right. Do it, because the best compliments that you'd get would be like, you're really funny. You should be a comedian too.
And I think I'm doing fucking up here. Yeah.
Well, I've maintained the illusion, which really works in emceeing. I'm the host. Yeah. This is my party. You're all invited to my party. I've invited these wonderful comedians, and I'm so excited for you to see this next person. I could hate the next person, but as far as the audience, I'm very excited. We're very happy to have them. Just did this. Oh, bring on so and so. And it seems almost like I'm patronizing because I'm not being sincere every time I do it, which might seem hacky to some people, but it's not your job to, as the host, it's not your job to come out there and ruin the mood of the audience.
Yeah, of course not. It's the opposite.
I'm the host.
Yeah.
I'm the welcomer. I'm the cheerleader. I can sneak in some material.
Like a buffer, yeah.
I can be, buffer. It's something different in between.
Yeah. Well, like you said,
buffer can almost
palate
sound
cleanser. That's a great way of putting it.
So to maintain the trajectory of the show, so that it's happy, we had a good time. Maybe I've had somebody who just did some very dark material.
Probably me.
Probably you. And somehow the lineup has worked up that the next person is a very
happy,
vanilla,
or
has the attitude of a very nice, not dirty comedian. No, let's say you do a lot of blue material up front.
Everything went well in his life, and he's just like, let me make people laugh too.
Yeah, or he's describing his wife and kids.
Right.
That's so. I know this is hard to believe, but some people actually have happy, well-adjusted lives, and they talk about them on stage.
I don't believe it. That's crazy.
I don't believe it either, but I've seen it happen. So if you go up and do 14 abortion jokes, and how you were glad, and how you wanted to watch every one of them.
I have to make sure that they're gone.
Then, okay, now I got a guy coming up about growing up in a cornfield. Well, as the MC, I've got to do something so that next guy doesn't go up and eat his dick for 5 minutes before they get used to him. This is my job, so I've got to do something. So I'll go and do something on purpose, not dark.
Yeah.
Playful, whatever. I could do some crowd work, but I will actually sacrifice some material, a couple of minutes of material, that I know is going to get nothing. I know it's going to get nothing. I'm going to sell it, but I know it's going to get nothing because I've just gone from abortion jokes to kindergarten jokes that I'm telling. But the next guy, they're going to be so relieved that I'm off.
Yeah.
Not relieved that I'm off, but they'll be so ready for the next guy.
Yeah.
So go ahead, ask any MC in the city today if they'll fall on the sword for the guy who's coming after them. Very few will.
100%.
But if you're gonna be the host of a show, then that's what you do. It does have a downside. So, meaning that you won't be thought of as a regular comedian.
But that's like that again is like, you know, what everybody says, you're the best. That just proves it even more that you are willing to be like, hey, what is the best thing for the show? And you're just gonna fucking do it.
Right. Well, and it also, I mean, if I wanted to be honest about it, can I be honest?
No. Lie.
MCing,
you're straight.
When you do it well and you're an entertainer. See, I've never considered myself a comedian. I'm a cabaret actor who forced his way into a comedy club. Right. That's what I say. Because I do very theatrical things.
You're a Broadway guy.
Yeah. But if you're going to be a comedian and you fall into the host category, once you get the hang of it, it's a very safe place to be. Right. You're always getting stage time. But
what is this? You
hear that? That's just a motorcycle out there.
Oh, it really picks it up, the microphones. Yeah.
Oh, you've got fantastic equipment. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
I do.
Go ahead, cough.
I'm not going to cough. I'm going to burp.
Oh. There you go. That was a good one.
I got it.
Anyway, the point is that you can get complacent as an MC. You have to force yourself to stop MCing after a while, or at least not MC as much, because you do have to work on your manning as a comedian rather than manning as a host.
Yeah.
So if I had to go back, I would probably do more of that, not MCing as much.
Just doing your own, like like putting yourself on the.
Just say, because they'd always, the upside is they go like, we got to have Rick on every show.
Yeah.
Rick's making $1,000 a week in 1985.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Ton, yeah.
Yeah. But on the other hand, Rick's doing the same material because this is what works after the first guy. This is what works after the second guy.
You got it down to a science.
Yeah. And so you can get complacent in that, and I think that if you're a good MC, just to reiterate, if you're a good MC, that's great, but don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to turn down some gigs. They'll say, we'd love to have you on the show, but you have to MC. You say, I'm not MCing this year.
I feel like no one. I've only MC'd my open mic that I used to have, and that that gave me a taste of what hosting and MCing is like. Mm-hmm. And it is fun. It's a lot of fun, but it's definitely a different skill set. So
it's not an entirely different skill set, but it does have
some
rules of its own. Yes,
exactly. So like I have to make sure that the crowd is happy, and in between, like if somebody bombs, just like you were saying, you have to fall on the sword or some shit like that. But I never thought about just saying like, all right, what if I fuck myself over and do this and this and that? Because I wasn't even doing it for that long when I was hosting my own mic.
But it's a great experience, though.
It really is. It really is.
Especially if you're a new comedian, you should always try to host a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But finish your point.
And it's fun too. And to be honest, I feel like
it's fun for the first hour.
It's fun. It's fun for the first time. And I actually got some good, clips out of it. But I don't even know what my point is. I think my point is that like I've hosted before, and it's hard. It's harder than you think, and like you think you're gonna go in there and just be like, all right, I'm just gonna like riff on what the other comedian said, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. But I guess that's the same thing as.
And a lot of people don't like that. If you bounce off their set,
yeah,
they go, get your own material, dude.
Yeah. But it's an open mic, so like fuck you.
Well, open mic, so
yeah, and it was a free open mic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well then. Yeah. So I think that keeping the mood of the show going forward, because you hate a lull. You hate that point in the show where, hey, we're having a good time and you feel the whole room go,
yeah, get ready for your next comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like, all right.
Yeah, there are things.
I guess.
And by the way, the audience hates, after the fourth guy says, where are you from?
Oh, yeah.
They all know it. He's from Texas. He told, oh, did you talk about this?
It's an experience.
Yeah, you're the fourth comedian to ask us.
Yeah. How different is that? Like, how different is comedy now because of the whole TikTok era versus like back in the day? I'm sure that's been asked.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
We also have to keep in mind that the audience changes.
That's true.
The audience is different now than it was back then. And back then, in the 80s, without any internet, without any of that stuff, the perception was for the unprofessional theater goer or the unprofessional audience member that comedy was, oh, I go and yell at the guy and he yells stuff back at me. So heckling is not a new thing.
It's not a new thing, yeah.
And then the guy would do crowd work and the down wrinkles and stuff like that. And so the Comedy Cellar, we had plenty of nights where it got really ugly, where we had to remove people and things like that early on, 1982, 83, 84. But that's why we started a policy at the Comedy Cellar. And I think we were the first ones to do this. We had little, what we call them, shush cards on the table. And it just, because people didn't know.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Oh, you don't want me to yell stuff?
No.
And it would say, basically, we want to give you the best show, so please don't call out to the comedian.
Do you yell at a Broadway show? Yeah.
Well, it didn't say that.
Yeah.
Well, there's an expectation that you can't yell because the people aren't making it up on the spot. In a comedy club, the illusion is that we're making it up on the spot. Right. We're not. It's written.
That was one of the first things that you teach in your class.
Yeah, it's the illusion of spontaneity. Yeah. It is an actual spontaneity.
Yeah.
But you've got to be able to improvise and pivot in case there are spontaneous moments.
Yeah.
So the audience back then had to be educated that, it's a better show if you don't yell stuff out. We actually have things prepared. And we actually started enforcing that in a way. And what it did, it would attract a better audience.
That makes sense.
Because some people would not come because the whole show that night that they paid $20 for was about Brenda and her bachelorette party. And it was funny once. And now Brenda's drunk and she's yelling shit to the end. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it changed when we started changing it. And other clubs to this day don't have security or just let people yell. And I think that you don't have to do that. So now that audience is they grew up, they had kids or whatever.
And they raise those kids.
For the longest time, we didn't have heckling. It didn't happen much. You saw clips of maybe Bill Burr in Philadelphia, stuff, big arenas where somebody would yell stuff out.
Yeah.
But people who would actually come to the club to start fights,
just to be
that dwindled a lot in the 90s. Now, entered the internet, people remember they started posting material. Mm-hmm. Well, they went, I'm not posting my good material.
Or you don't want to burn it.
Yeah. Burn it.
Yeah.
So that's easy thing. I'm going to do crowd work. So what did it do? It trained people that when you come to the club, you got to yell stuff because that's comedy.
Yeah.
So now we're back to square one. We come in, we yell shit out, and you make fun of us, and then we're all on TikTok together.
I fall into that shit too, because it's like I'm not even like I'm not working on an hour right now. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to put my foot in the door. And
this is why the MC tells them, lays down the rules at the very beginning of the show.
They shut the fuck up,
guys.
Yeah.
Well, don't put it that way,
Right.
Manny. Hey, everybody, shut the fuck up.
That's why I would be a bad MC. I'd be like, yo, listen, shut the fuck up when a comic's up here.
You actually you can tell them, say, we're going to have fun. And when I'm up here, we can talk back and forth all you want.
Yeah.
But I hate to break the news to you folks. It's not like TikTok. These people have got stuff prepared. So don't yell shit out. Don't yell shit out because they worked really hard. They're really funny. You really want to listen to what they have to say. So don't be yelling shit out. And okay, and don't and then you can tie it to that, and don't get offended over little shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a good time. Just in a very playful way, tell them the rules, and that's what a good MC does.
Yeah.
You don't come like, all right, here's the rules. You don't call shit out.
Yeah.
Some clubs they do.
Right.
But no. And
Rules
then as
that
as the MC, I'm doing crowd work with them.
It's like when a girl.
And then if somebody yells at me, I go, "What's that, honey?"
Yeah.
It's your birthday? What birthday is it? I'll interview them rather than shut the fuck up. Nobody cares.
It's like a safe word. Yeah.
Oh, it's your birthday. Is this a birthday you want to talk about, or is it? I mean, because some people are. Oh, I'm the big 2'5",
Right,
and in that case, you could go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but the larger point is, has the audience changed? Yes. And now with the TikTok comedians, some of them are very good, but they only have 10 minutes of material.
Yeah. Oh shit. I'm sorry.
What?
I gotta re-up my parking.
Oh, we'll do that.
I'm gonna re-up my parking real quick.
Did you park in a place where you're allowed to re it up?
I did. So what I do in New York is if you're from New York City watching this, so if you park in a place that has, or whatever, that's like 2-hour, 3-hour parking or whatever, if you do the thing at the machine first, and then you put the ticket in on your car, then when that's over, then you do the app wherever you are, and you have an extra 2 or 3 hours or whatever the fuck it is.
Yes.
That's
I'm
like
a little
hack.
wary of that.
That's the hack.
Yes, I'm wary of that because if they come by and your ticket is expired, they might not go online to see if you're good. They'll just write you out a ticket.
I think,
and then it's got to be settled
it's
in
hooked
court.
up to their thing because so far it hasn't fucked me. But
I see. So you're saying they go in, they see it's expired, then they go to write you the ticket, they put in the license plate number, and it comes up and it says, "Oh, he already paid again."
yeah.
Oh, all right.
And here's the thing: I don't think they can ticket you if you already paid, because so far I haven't been ticketed.
There's a technicality.
Exactly.
Which is when we say 2-hour parking only, that means per person. You can't park for another 2 hours.
Let's see.
But I don't know. These are the things that I spend very little time thinking about.
Purchase. All right, great. Purchased. Parking's good. All right, we shall continue.
I thought that was a very helpful PSA for the
Yeah.
people at home. If you come to New York City and you want to stay more than 4 hours at a 2-hour meter, do the ticket first and then online for the next 4.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more. I was just about to say that.
Oh, were you? See?
Yeah.
Great minds.
Look at that. Maybe I'll make it. All right. You didn't have to look at me like that. I'm not going to make it. Anyway, continue with your story.
I don't know. What were we talking about? Well, we were talking about the audiences are different. And
the audience is different.
But, it's a little annoying sometimes, and I'm guilty of it myself, when the older comedians or the older musicians or the older people talk about, back in the old days, it was like that. It was so much better. It was so much different. Hey, stuff changes every 20 years.
Yeah.
Music changes every 20 years. The kinds of jokes. Like today, you can't really, as a white guy, you can't go out and do ethnic material.
You can't say the N-word, yeah.
You weren't supposed to do that 20 years ago.
Michael Richards really ruined that.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this about that. There's a perfect example of something, a convergence of circumstances that it was sad to see.
Yeah.
Because Michael Richards is not known as a mean guy.
Yeah.
Or a racist guy. I've never heard anybody articulate it this way, but I've always wanted to say, what happened was somebody from the balcony said, "You're not funny."
Yeah.
Well, when you say to a comedian in front of people, "You're not funny," that is the most offensive thing you can say to them. The most hurtful, offensive thing you can say to a comedian is from the stage, "You're not funny." I mean, really, it cuts through us like a deck. Yeah. Okay, so, and I could see in his face that he was completely killed by that. It's momentary, but you see it in his eyes.
I got to rewatch that video.
I'm dead. So in response, he did, in kind, said the most hurtful, offensive thing he could think of to this black guy.
That makes sense.
All right? So did
I
he
wouldn't
mean
do that,
Did he mean it?
Yeah.
You know, in the way that I doubt it, but he was like, I'm throwing the big gun out there because it's the most hurtful thing I can say. And it was a horrible mistake. Because it was not only hurtful to the guy personally, it was offensive to an entire community.
Yeah.
And it went viral on the internet, which was
and that was
fairly
like,
new.
that's
early.
Going viral. Yeah. What is that? 2006.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. To go viral back then, that means that you fucked up or you did something really good.
Right. So I mean, I just think that if something like that happens to you, always be aware of the fact that you've got to maintain a cool head in an adversarial situation with the audience.
I'm pretty sure I'm never going to say the N-word to the audience.
No, you're not.
Yeah. But probably because Michael Richards did it for all of us.
You are an insane man. I'm trying to be serious. I didn't realize it was going to be that way.
I know.
No.
I'm a piece of shit.
Anyway, I didn't even know Michael Richards. I never met the man. What am I even weighing in on it?
I don't know.
But
I have no idea.
I just wanted to make the point is that when you insult a comedian, nobody's watching.
Yeah.
But whenever you insult a comedian and keeping your cool on stage, this also refers to emceeing and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be 100% reactionary up there.
No. You got to be reactionary, like, with your wit. And, like, you have to be like, all right, how can I make
And
this
if you got
funny?
nothing, sometimes you're just like, you got me.
I got nothing. Yeah. Just take the L. I was talking to you about this last week. I had a horrible set in Key West a week ago, and you were just like, maybe don't start on the 9/11 joke.
Maybe you don't start with a 9/11 joke. That's right, because I asked you what you started with, right?
Yeah, but the joke itself is a good starter when I say it right, but I said it wrong.
Oh, get the words right.
That's the thing. I said the words wrong. So it's usually a
the way you
opener.
recounted it to me, you said the words where it sounded like you thought it was a good thing.
Yeah.
And the joke is, what's the
craziest
thing that happened?
Yeah.
Right.
But instead I said the word cool.
What's the coolest thing that happened?
What's the coolest thing that happened?
And your answer is being 9/11.
9/11. Then everyone's like, oh, well,
you
you're
can see
a piece of shit.
Yeah,
somebody might like you at all.
Somebody might take that the wrong way.
And then I got a heckler.
But I still think it's a risky opener.
You're right, though. You're right. I'm going to start with some soft stuff. We were talking about, like, my therapy jokes. I'm going to
or something self-deprecating.
Yeah. So, like, be humble.
Yeah.
Get the crowd
it can be a dark joke, but I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I could do a dead parents joke up top.
Oh.
But is that too? It's probably
What's
too dark
the joke?
for the beginning. I have a bunch. Well, I mean, it could be my GED joke.
Oh, my parents are dead too. We have that in common.
Yeah, but like mine died when I was 12.
Ah.
Yeah.
Poison mushrooms?
No, I shot him. I shot him with cancer.
You shot him with cancer. You know that poison mushroom joke?
Yeah, I don't. Wait, what's the poison mushroom joke?
Yeah. Two men are talking.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm a widower. I'm a widower 3 times over." Really? What's your first wife die of? Poison mushrooms. Poison? Oh, that's horrible. What's your second wife die of? Poison mushrooms. Oh, it happened again? That is horrible. What about your third wife? Shot in the head. She was shot in the head. What happened? She wouldn't eat the poison mushroom.
And that's how my parents died.
That's what see. Those old jokes.
That's fantastic.
She wouldn't eat the poison mushrooms.
That's good. That's a good. It's not a one-liner.
It's a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's a 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It's a normal crazy.
Right. There's a turn.
Yeah.
A little turn. That's like the evolution of comedy. But then it becomes like, a little story, and the turn. Right? Is that the recipe?
Could be
comedy?
the 1, 2, 3. I mean, if you look at the old jokes,
yeah,
there's usually 1 beat, 2 beat, and surprise on the third.
Right.
Yeah. But I just
that's what's hard to write. What's hard to write is a turn. That's because you have to.
I think it would start there with what's wrong, and then work backwards with an inventive misdirection.
That's a good way to. That's a good piece of advice.
If you say, okay, I'm going to make this the punchline.
Yeah.
If I'm going to, in that joke, if my conclusion is, I killed my wives with poison mushrooms, and I want to hide that.
Right.
Then I'm constructing it from.
Right. Do you think that's what that guy did? Whoever wrote that joke?
I have no idea.
Yeah. A lot of my jokes just come from the bar. I just talk to random people. I'm like, oh, this is a funny thing that I said or that they said.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes you start with the funny part and you build backwards. Sometimes you start with a context and a scene and say to yourself, oh, how far can this go, or what weird direction can this go?
Legs, yeah.
And you write it that way.
Yeah. And it takes what's the longest time that it's taken to have a joke written? Because I know a lot of comics, they have a joke that they started with. I'm like, oh, I made this, I held on to this joke that I've written. I was like, this is gonna be bullshit. But then later on, it makes it to their second hour Netflix special, and it's like, oh shit, I actually made this into something. So what's the longest one you ever had?
You know what's weird, because I think a joke is done, and then years later, I think of it again and I go oh, I should have said it this way.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
It can happen that way. I have a joke that is, here's the first way I wrote it.
Okay.
All right. I have, and it's a dark joke.
I love it.
But I think it's harmless. I have a friend who said he's dating a trans woman. And I said, well, good for you that you're open to that kind of thing. And he says, well, I'm actually more of a pedophile, and I know that pussy's only 10 years old. Right? So you're laughing at pedophile, but I was like, but the thing is, actually, I'm more of a pedophile, but the pussy's only 10 years old. Yeah. Right? Okay, so that's sick. But it's funny.
Yeah.
Right?
It's fucked up.
But it's fucked up and it's funny. But I submit, nobody gets hurt from that joke. Maybe the pedophile. That's it. Right? Good for you that you're dating. Okay. And then I just thought recently, I don't want to say he's a pedophile until the very end. And so do I want to say? So now I pull the lens back, and now I'm thinking that it goes, my friend told me he's dating an older woman. And he said, well, that's different from you. You usually like them very young. And then he says, well, she's a trans woman, and that pussy's only 10 years old. You see? So now I think it's a better joke, because the joke is about the newness of the vagina.
You don't say pedophile.
I don't say pedophile.
You don't say the word
I imply
pedophile.
it.
You imply it.
I imply it, and I do more of a misdirection on older. They say, well, she's a trans woman, and the pussy's only 10 years old, in one breath, because you're going to get a laugh after a trans woman.
Yeah.
And that just occurred to me after a couple of years. I think it's a better joke now.
It is.
I mean, it's more shocking if I say, well, I'm actually a pedophile. But
that's true.
But I wanted it to be a smarter joke.
I think the smarter jokes is a good way to go, too, because I feel like the crowd is always kind of like, okay, I figured it out after a second of thinking. And
in no time do I want to make it, this is not a trans joke.
Yeah, it's a pedophile joke.
This is about the fact that
exactly
a adult woman trans woman
Yeah.
might have a
New
vagina
Yeah.
that is less
Yeah.
than 18 because they could have had the surgery.
That's a great fucking bit.
Right?
That's a great bit.
So,
yeah.
Now, some people might get offensive just because it involves
Just 'cause you say trans, yeah.
But I don't think. Listen, I know a lot of trans people.
Same.
And there are a lot more relaxed about this whole trans thing than non-trans people are.
It's kind of the same way that like white people like call me Latinx. I'm just like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Latinx, it sounds like a spray
what are
that
you talking about?
Get
Exactly. It's
out
like
your,
a repellent. Yeah.
get out your Latinos with Latinx.
Do you live near the border? Latinx.
Latinx.
Yeah, it's more racist than you think. It's like, and it's always like a lot of like,
my Latino
people,
friends.
yeah.
Right.
They're just like, they're outraged for everybody else. And it's like, no,
well, that's a cottage industry, being outraged for other people.
It's like, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's being outraged for other people. Listen, when people do that, I think this is all they have.
Yeah.
This is all they have in their lives is to be outraged. It makes them relevant. And like, oh, look, there's other people online who are outraged too. I'm part of a group. Look at me. Look at us. We're offended. And meantime, they have no sense of humor. But I realize that sometimes you just let things go.
Yeah, dude, like fucking calm down.
Yeah, you let things go.
I mean, there's some things that are just like, I get it. I understand. But like, I don't think...
See, this is the joke that's going to get me canceled.
Which one?
The one I just told, because...
The pedophile joke? Or the trans joke? Yeah, because everyone's watching this.
No, but I think it's a very serious conversation to have.
It is. It is.
Even the mere mention of a subject that might be controversial in some person's perception is suddenly a reason to say, I can't associate with you anymore. Because you said something that reminded me of my uncle who was offended once by a goat.
No, I agree.
You did anti-goat jokes, man.
I feel like comedy is like one of the last bastions of like actually like just free speech, just saying whatever the fuck you want. Because at the end of the day, it's like you don't mean it. You're just saying shit to fucking make people laugh.
Right.
And it's like everyone's just like, saying, oh, like the comedian said this, the comedian said this. I think Jon Stewart said this or somebody. But like if you keep saying, why are you holding the comedians to this standard? Right?
You won't even hold the president to.
Exactly. It's like you're voting for Trump, but you're fucking, you're holding the comedian to this fucking standard, and it's ridiculous because comedians just, we're just here to fucking like incite joy or the illusion of joy for like an hour and a half.
Well, Jimmy Carr has a wonderful bit about this, where he says, "If I ever get canceled, I'm going to paraphrase here, but he says, okay, the very next day, I'm going on TV, and I'm going to say." I just want to tell everybody, sorry.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, you don't mean that. He says, so it's possible to say things and not mean them.
Yeah.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, isn't that brilliant?
That's from the new special I saw.
It's possible to say things.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that?
I saw the new special.
What a wonderful
There's a lot of smart stuff it is.
So now you're admitting it's possible for me to say something and I don't mean it.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
That's the thing.
That's great.
You're just telling jokes.
This is what I'm talking about, professional audiences. 40 years ago, without this, stupid people didn't have a voice. They really didn't.
Yeah, now they do.
I mean, they would write outraged letters to the editors. Dear publishers, I can't believe that you said something positive about that Rosa Parks woman.
They could write the N-word all they want.
They could write all them. They wouldn't get published. But what I'm saying is that the audiences, they couldn't coagulate. They couldn't get together. The stupid people.
Yeah.
And then people who went to comedy clubs or theaters had this thing called a dynamic mind, that you could take something on its surface value and realize that it was being...
You're at a comedy club.
It was being abstracted to something else, and that it was all pretend.
Just like you said, it's not the truth seller, it's a comedy seller.
And
that's one of the first things he taught us.
It's not the truth seller.
Yeah.
And now, I don't want to be mistaken to say that it doesn't have to be true, but it does have to, as a performer, it does have to feel truthful.
Yeah.
It has to sound truthful.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Through your performance. There has to be an honesty to it, or something that I can go, all right, even if it's an absurd premise, if you really commit to it, I'm going, all right. He's attracted to llamas. Let's hear the rest of it.
Yeah. That's just who this guy is. Likes fucking birds.
So
it's a llama bird.
A lot of, but things are constantly changing, and you got to pivot with them.
Yeah.
I think. And you got to, and the same thing with careers. My career was not to be a comedy teacher. It was not. It wasn't even on my radar. When I was a teenager, I taught a little theatrical troupe, like a community theater kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I really enjoyed doing that because I was doing little regional theater stuff.
You love theater on Broadway. That makes sense.
Well, the Broadway thing was something that I had always aspired to, and I've been fortunate to do it a few times, and I'm going to be doing it again after 20 years.
Nice.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about. Let's plug
doing
some shit. Yeah.
Sarah Silverman has a wonderful musical based on her book called The Bedwetter. It's called The Bedwetter.
Right.
It's about her when she's 10 years old. It's a very dysfunctional family kind of musical, but it's hilarious and sad at the same time. There's some very serious parts to it. Adam Schlesinger, the late Adam Schlesinger, wrote the music for it. Anyway, we did it at and Josh Harmon, I should say, co-wrote the book. We did it at the Atlantic Theater Company about 2 years ago now. And we did a workshop last year, and we were supposed to. It hasn't been officially announced. We're supposed to go to Broadway this fall with it.
You heard it here,
in
folks.
October. So, and the last Broadway show I did was 20 years ago called Urinetown. So I'm going from Urinetown to the Bedwetter.
To the Bedwetter. I was going to say that.
My career is on the urinary track, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. We'll cut that. Don't worry.
You can be as vulgar as you want.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you want to ask me?
I don't know. So I have this whole thing here.
I'm so caffeinated. I'm just rambling.
I had.
What else do you want to know about me?
Well, about you, I feel like we learned. All right. So you also you didn't go to college.
No.
Right? Me neither. So I have a GED. But you have a high school diploma.
I did graduate high school.
You graduated high school. I'm retarded.
So, with a GED?
Yeah.
No, you were probably not a good student.
I didn't apply myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, this happens a lot.
Because my parents, because I killed my parents with cancer.
Oh, you killed them with cancer?
Yeah.
If you could figure out how to get cancer in a squirt gun.
Yeah.
you're a genius.
Yeah. I'd be good for insurance companies.
Can you imagine the black market for cancer in a gun?
Yeah. That's the best. It's a slow death.
Depends on what kind.
Right. Pancreatic is quick. Like if you want someone dead under a year.
Pretty fast.
Pancreatic.
Sorry, that's my doctor calling right now with the results.
I think my gun went off. I'm sorry. All right, what else? I got. So, I think we went over the Comedy Cellar history. Kind of.
I'm muting my phone, ladies and gentlemen, at home. I thought I had done that, but apparently I had not.
Mute the thing. Let's see what time we got.
We talked about comedy, emceeing. We talked about the meaning of life. Well, I say in the documentary. I'll say it again. It's something I discovered is that in life you don't get what you want. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you get.
Yeah.
And sometimes what you get can be better than what you wanted or deserved. So be open to that.
Yeah.
You get what you get, and it's the old cliche: life is what you make it.
Yeah.
All right. So you might say, okay, great. I didn't get the Netflix special, but look what I get to do. I get to spend my afternoons with lovely people, telling them how to shape
funny.
comedy. I was going to say tell dick jokes.
Jokes, yeah.
But shape comedy material. It makes their lives relevant. It makes my life relevant. And I'm still writing songs. I'm acting. So
you were my teacher. I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching knows this.
Yes. I don't believe I helped you with a 9/11 joke.
You were my first teacher, and you were like, you know what, Manny, you should do a 9/11 joke as your opener. And I stand by that 100%. And that's what he taught me. He taught me, you know what, talk about 9/11. and talk about your parents' cancer, and then you will make it to the top.
See, here's the thing about a joke like that, about 9/11, or any topic that is so dicey. The reaction to something is always more interesting than the thing itself. Time and distance. You know. So if you pull the camera back far enough, after 9/11 happened, I thought, well, I had this musical review called The Musical. And it was about famous people, things in the news, current trends, songs and sketches, and I would write all of it. I thought, well, how do I write something that addresses the issue? How do you not address the fact that happened?
Yeah, it's kind of a
right?
Elephant in the room.
So about 4 months later, I wrote this song based on the reaction to it, which was I had to pull the lens back. Who's reacting to it? What are we doing now? And I started peeling the onion. I said, well, now security is tight everywhere you go, even at the airport. And I saw this story on the news that they were even patting down the elderly in wheelchairs. And then my mind went, they're patting down old ladies. What if they like it? So I wrote a song called Felt Up at the Airport. I got felt up at the airport and I loved it.
Yeah.
I've been fondled like I haven't been in years.
That's fantastic.
So, and then I peeled the onion on that. And then she goes and she tells her friends about it, and they're all going through the airport thing.
Right.
The guard looks just like Cary Grant, so we'll be here all day. And the song's and the thing is, we don't even buy a ticket. We just spend a moment.
Just go through security.
So I found an angle in that still acknowledged the tragic issue, but it was a funny reaction to it. So I think if you look hard enough, you find it.
Yeah.
Or you go right for it. Where the audacity is the thing. Oh my God, I can't believe he talked about that.
Yeah.
Which is more your style.
Yeah, I think my style is more just like, oh, what a fucked up person this guy is. I think.
If you can make that part of your character.
But I should make it more clever.
I want to know.
I should peel the onion more.
Yes.
Yeah. Peel the onion is actually a great euphemism.
Peel the onion of possibility.
Yeah. That's what writing is, yeah.
Yeah. Keep asking it questions.
Yeah.
What else? Who else?
Yeah. That's why you're like the best fucking teacher ever. And Comedy Cellar is the staple. This is the mecca of comedy. Like that's what it is.
It is now. We are, yes, and it wasn't always.
And you helped make you were a huge part in making it.
I was happy to be a part of it. And
Yeah.
I think that I'm proud of what we did. I don't think we knew exactly what we were doing at the time.
Nobody does.
We were just another comedy club, and I have to say that Bill Grunfest, who started it, had certain professional standards, but also Manny, who was the owner.
Me? No, I know who you're talking about.
No, Manny Dorman, Noam's father.
Yep.
Right now, Manny has been gone for 20 years now, but Manny was in the music business. He was in the music business. He had a band, the Fiend John Band, and he knew very much about keeping the quality at a certain level and not taxing the audience. Like in comedy clubs, sometimes a comedian would be up there for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That was his scheduled spot.
You guys invented the showcase, essentially.
No, I don't think so. I mean, the improv and Catch a Rising Star, it was all showcase stuff.
Okay.
But the idea that a comedian would do 20 minutes or 25 minutes, that was normal. The idea that a comedian, we'd only have him on for 10 minutes, that was Manny. He said, well, why don't we just have more comedians? Because in 10 minutes, if a guy can't do that much damage.
Yeah.
This is during the week. But during the week, if a guy's dying after 10 minutes, and he's got to do another 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's rough.
Well, what would happen is people would leave, and then we'd have an empty room at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because so-and-so decided to do, abortion jokes or whatever.
Jokes.
Or just wasn't funny. So, Manny said, let's have more comedians and let's keep the quality up. And that's what we did. And that's when I decided to do this class. I thought, I'm going to do Manny's model, which is you give good, you get good. So if I can give the best possible class I can think of and really limit the class size so that I'm working with everybody individually. Same thing with Veronica, my other teacher. Yeah. And then I can just teach more classes. Like, Manny, why don't we just have more comedians? I go, well, if I limit my class size, then I give a better product.
Yeah.
And why don't I just do more classes? So that's the model of business model that I brought to this.
Yeah.
Here's what happened was, I don't know how much film you have in the camera.
A lot. It's all film.
That's how much you got to change? Is that Super 8 with sound?
It's Super 16, actually.
Super 16.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah. We're doing it big here.
And when you have a class, there's always been a controversy about, can you teach this at all? To this day, you can't teach comedy. Yeah. Well, there are many things that people have naturally that you can't teach. I can't give somebody a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right. But there are many things that you can do. This is a skill as much as it is an art form. So there are a lot of things that you can teach. In a very cynical way, people here in New York, there's a lot of performers, a lot of wannabes, and a lot of cynical people said, I'm going to pretend to teach a class. I'm going to get 30 people in a class. I'll let them tell a joke. I'll tell them I like it or I don't like it, and sit down, and I'll make tons of money because people are eager to be stars.
Yeah.
Now that's a very cynical way of doing it, and they make a lot of money. My nature is I couldn't do that.
Because you're not a sociopath.
I'm not a sociopath. I actually enjoy teaching, and I wasn't raised that way. To be able to take advantage of somebody, charge them $500 for that's too long.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
I couldn't do it.
That's
I couldn't live with myself if I did it that way. And plus, when I get to work with people individually and see progress, that jazzes me.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a lot from it.
That's the payoff too, and you can see it when I remember when I took your class, and just when I keep talking to you like all the time.
You won't stop talking to me.
I
don't understand.
I pretty much just like force my way into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And no, but when you teach, you can actually tell that you give a shit, and like you've put a lot of work into the material that you teach the class.
And that's when they don't listen to me,
you get furious.
Inside I get furious.
If you take his class and you just like fucking don't listen to him, like you're a piece of shit and you're not gonna make it. Yeah. But yeah, I have to give you like credit where credit's due. Like you are a fantastic educator in general.
Well,
and then like that you happen to teach, comedy, and you are, a staple of one of the best comedy clubs in the world. Is huge. And I am lucky that I got to take your class because I learned a shit ton.
You're lucky we didn't have an entrance exam.
Yeah, because I would have. No Spanish people. Yeah.
No Spanish people.
Yeah. No Latinx.
No Latinx.
Latinx. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Manny. It's good to hear it consistently.
Yeah.
From my former students and my current students.
Yeah.
That we're still doing a good job.
So
the minute it becomes like this old man shouldn't be allowed near people.
Yeah. I mean, you
and that time will probably come sooner than later.
You've touched me a few times, and I said no.
I believe what you said was I Poppy C.
That's a good song.
It's a good song.
That's a good fucking song.
I have this dirty song called I Poppy C.
That's a banger. You should look it up.
Yeah.
I Poppy C by Rick Crom. It actually is good. When did you make that song? When did you make that?
I wrote that song.
When did you write that?
Well, it goes into the hopper of 10 years ago. Everything in my life was 10 years ago. Could be 20 years ago.
So 40 years ago.
But it wasn't 40 years ago. You want to know? Okay.
Yeah. That's why I fucking asked it.
I don't know. Calm down. Put the White Claw down.
I will not.
Let's say it's 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
I was having sex with this Spanish guy.
It wasn't me. I was
Dominican.
too young.
No. This guy was.
I'm also not Dominican.
I don't know what he was. We hooked up a lot. I knew it one time. I just forgot.
Wait, you're gay?
I just was fucking this guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It wasn't anything gay about it.
No homo.
There were no show tunes. We just fucked. So in the middle of fucking him, he says, "Ay, papi, sí." He said it out loud.
Yeah.
"Ay, papi, sí." And I put that in my mind because I chuckled in my head. Okay.
That's when you get your best materials. You just
I can't say anything now, but that's going into something. Because that was an old cliche.
And there it goes. So
that was an old cliche. I
down.
heard when you're having sex with that "ay papi sí" is something that the Spanish people say when they're fucking.
Yeah.
"Ay papi sí." So
I've never said that once.
well, you're not doing
Probably
it right.
because no one's
You probably
ever
never
fucked
were
me in
taking
the
a big
ass.
dick before. But what happened was, so I was looking for the angle in,
Yeah.
and the angle I found was.
Is that a pun?
No, it should be.
It's a good pun.
Angle in for the song. So I thought, oh my God, they really do say it. Like, oh, I thought that was just a cliche. So that became the preface of the song, which was, it starts off, generally speaking, when people speak generally they are wrong. But at times I'll admit they'll speak just a bit of truth with which I'll go along. Now I've done the research, and I cannot deny there is one thing at which you can always rely. And then it starts the Spanish beat, and the first line is, "When you put your penis in a Spanish boy." Every cliche that you've heard people say is true.
Yeah.
He won't say no or nada when you're serving that big enchilada. No, here's what that dear Spanish boy will say to you.
Yeah.
Ay, papi, sí, ay, papi, sí, ay, papi, sí. So it became that song. And it works, by the way, it works just as well if you put Spanish girl in there. A straight guy could do that song. When you put your penis in a Spanish girl,
Right.
ay, papi, sí. It all works fine.
Yeah, that's true.
So there. That's how that song happened.
Well, there's my answer.
There. Oh my God!
Well, let's. All right, let's see what I got here.
What
let's
else?
wrap this
What
up.
else didn't you ask?
Let's wrap this up. So,
Oh, now you're getting bored of me.
Miss Florida.
Yeah, I hate that.
All right, so fuck that. Let's see. We've tackled 59 and not famous, but you are. I just wrote down gay stuff.
Oh, now I'm 67 and not famous.
Oh shit. Well,
What else did you want to talk about?
it just says gay stuff.
Gay stuff. Well, what do you want to know about that?
I don't know. I think we talked about it just now.
I think that, well, if you look at the documentary, you'll see there's a big, long section about it.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting because for 30 years, I didn't do any gay material.
Yeah.
Because I didn't present as a cliche, effeminate
You presented
gay
it
guy.
straight for a bit. Well,
No,
you presented
no, I never
not
said-
not straight. But
I
like
never
yeah,
did.
yeah.
I never said.
It was ambiguous, kind of.
Kind of. I
Yeah.
never did my girlfriend
Right.
stuff.
Right.
I never talked about. But I would talk in general terms that could go either way. That's. But I never did it because the audience would only laugh at a cliche.
Right.
If I got up there and went like, "Hi, everybody," so I was shoving a microphone up my ass today. Then they would laugh. They'd laugh
Right.
for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You'd be reinforcing a negative stereotype. I've relaxed quite a bit in recent years about the whole thing, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go up there and prance around because it really wasn't me. And I certainly wasn't going to do a character.
Yeah. That's not your style.
I could have, but I didn't do it. And because I didn't want them laughing at negative stereotypes.
Yeah.
Now, there are comedians, very effeminate gay comedians, who are organically effeminate gay comedians, who do rely on that stuff. They rely on it sometimes too much.
Yeah.
Well, the younger comedians that are a part of a group will always do here's jokes about my group.
Yeah.
Right. So all the young gay comedians are doing all of the gay.
The cliche,
because every punchline is because I'm gay.
Yeah.
And every Spanish comedian does it. Because I'm stealing your stereo. And
Not me. I fucking.
I
look too white to do the Spanish stereotype.
And for the longest time, every black guy in New York could not catch a cab.
Yeah.
Every black comedian, I mean.
Can they still? Can they?
Yes.
They can catch cabs now?
But I mean, everything was everybody had the same jokes.
Yep.
But now there's a lot of everybody now. There's, when there was only one or two gay comedians in the city, out comedians, sure, you could do that. When there was only, the ratio to black to white comedians was much more white than black.
Yeah.
So it would say you could do the same act, but now everybody as part of a group now has to talk about other things.
There's also a shitload of comedians now.
There's too many comedians.
There's a ton of comedians.
There's too many comedians now.
What was your thing when you were saying like in McDougal? There was.
What I say is when I started doing comedy in 1977 in Chicago, there were 1,500 comedians in the entire country. Now there are 1,500 comedians on McDougal Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always equate it to...
It's crawling with us.
Well, it's the new folk music. In the 1960s, any asshole with 3 chords and a guitar was a folk singer or a musician.
Yeah.
Right? And now with comedy, any asshole with 3 dick jokes is a comedian.
Yeah.
It'll shake out eventually. It's just a lot to go through. And now you've got unscrupulous club owners who go like, oh, well, if these people are willing to bring the audience and buy drinks from me, and all they want is to use my stage and my microphone, and it doesn't cost me a thing other than the minimum wage I'm paying the bartender, why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
So, and then late at night or after a certain hour, then I'll put on my real comedians for my real show. I mean, as a business model, I mean, it makes sense. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It just seems...
But, it's exploitative of the comedian. Yeah, of like if someone's trying to, or just someone who...
I know. I mean, there are businessmen, and you go in there, you show up at their door and, hi, I'm willing to work for free and bring the customers.
That's kind of, yeah.
Who's not going to do that?
These are called bringer shows, and we don't like them.
Yeah. We don't do them at the Cellar. We've never done them.
As you shouldn't. I mean,
we've never done them.
Also,
we don't have to.
You don't fucking have to. Yeah,
we're paying the rent quite well.
You guys are the best.
Like 13 shows a night.
Yeah, this is the creme de la creme right here. To be honest, I can't be happier that I'm doing that. You agree to this.
Why would I agree? I have nothing to do.
I didn't know.
I have no life.
I thought you had
Nobody
more
loves
shit to
me.
do. Yeah.
I just do my classes.
You had like a partner and
no.
You had.
I don't have a partner.
Yeah.
No, not for 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did he die of AIDS?
Yes.
Is that true?
And a couple of other things. But yeah,
2 shots
he
to
was
the
not
head.
well. He was not
I
well.
shot him twice in the head, but he died of AIDS.
Poison mushrooms.
Poison.
Poison mushrooms.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, this will be a mini series. We'll break this up into 2 parts.
This is gonna be one long episode.
Well.
But it's gonna be my favorite fucking episode, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's gonna be the only episode that people I think will actually watch. Oh, by the way.
Well, you don't have to show the whole thing.
I'm gonna show the whole thing. Yeah. I'm not cutting
Break it up in a couple of episodes.
Yeah. I could. This could be a 2-parter.
Well, we've done 2 hours, for Christ's sake.
Is it 2 hours?
Yeah.
Well, I've been here for 2 hours setting up.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah,
fine.
I think we've only done an hour so far.
Make it 3 1/2-hour episodes.
3 1/2. All right. Oh, by the way.
Yes.
My friend Nick Callis says hi.
I love Nick Callis.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine.
Oh.
I shot his special.
Why'd you shoot his special? He wouldn't eat the poison mushroom.
He wouldn't eat the poison mushrooms. Yeah.
You shot his special, Nick Callis, very funny guy.
Yeah.
Very
he told me
funny.
to say hi, so here I'm telling Rick hi as you asked
Hi,
me
Nick
to.
Cannon.
Yeah. Nick
Callis,
Cal-
not Cannon. Nick Cannon, that's a whole other guy. Callis.
Yeah. But he's a super funny dude. I just wanted to fucking give him a shout out. And
He's a
Yeah.
he's a nice boy.
he's a nice
Funny
boy.
jokes.
Attractive boy.
You know,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, he works out too much.
He works out
Too much.
a lot.
It's too much.
It's too much. He's too hot.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone from my own personal tastes. He's gone from being, well, that guy's in really, really good shape. He's kind of hot to like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he can crack a walnut with his knees.
He could.
You know.
He showed me his knees. I've seen his
What the
bare
hell were
knees.
you doing that he showed you his knees?
I was sucking his dick.
Oh, well, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
huge dick.
Ooh,
Yeah.
of course.
Tiny balls though. Yeah.
That's
Steroids.
more often than not.
Yeah.
I have an average dick and huge balls.
I have an
Yeah, but
average dick and
I don't
average
think
balls.
it's average. When my dick worked, it was a little above average, but huge balls.
Yeah.
Huge balls. And actually, I'm sitting on them now.
It's mad.
Yeah, this isn't a cushion.
I
These
thought
are
that
my
was your
balls.
ass. Is this your balls?
No, these are my balls. I'm sitting on
You
my
just
balls.
tape them up?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You've heard of duct tape? This is ball tape.
Yeah. I use gaff tape for my balls.
I see. You got to shave them first because you rip that off and the hair comes out. That's going to hurt.
I like the pain. It makes me come.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So now I understand.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah, unfortunately. Now you know my fetish.
Now fortunately, there's two people watching.
Yeah. There's at least
It's
negative 2 people watching.
there's your well, it's Nick Callis for one,
Nick Callis will watch this portion of it.
and
Yeah.
and whoever
The other 2, well, it's not my parents. They're not watching it.
and your parents are not watching.
No, they're not
Do
watching
you have a
anything.
girlfriend?
I have nothing. Yeah.
You have nothing?
I have
Oh.
a dog.
And your dog is watching
my
along
dog
with you
won't
and
understand.
Nick Callis.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
What kind
for
of
watching.
dog do you have?
It's a little Chihuahua.
Oh,
Her name's Spaghetti. Yeah.
I love it.
I
Why?
know.
Why?
So I tell people that it's because of the pasta dish, but in reality, I named the dog from this character from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is a cartoon that was, I think it's still airing. I'm not sure, on Adult Swim.
Oh,
And there is a rapist dog. It's a dog that was made in a pool. Oh no, I'm gonna keep going. So it's a rapist dog.
it's a rapist dog.
And then that's what the episode's about, right? And then the other person makes another dog who rapes rapist dogs, and that dog named himself Spaghetti. And I was like, I want to name my dog Spaghetti because of this. And I can't tell that on a first date because I get judged right away. So I just like, oh yeah, I just like spaghetti. I just like the pasta dish. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine a woman saying, "So you're using rape as a source of humor in the naming of your dog?"
That's pretty much why I don't tell people.
Yeah. I could see where somebody might take that the wrong way.
I should open with that though, because be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna say worse things throughout this relationship.
Hey,
if
everybody.
It works.
I'm known for being a controversial comedian, so I'm just going to start off with a light story about my dog. That'd be nice, right? I named my dog after a cartoon rapist. Stay with me. Where's everybody going? What do you mean check? What?
What do you mean? Why is the red light going off
Why
after
is
30 seconds?
Why are the police here?
Yeah.
What's happened?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm not that Spanish. Is it the rape joke? Oh man, but yeah, we went over rape. we went over gay. We went over your documentary. We went over this Comedy Cellar.
MCing. We talked about MCing.
We talked about emceeing.
We talked about teaching a lot.
What do you want? Do you want to plug some Broadway stuff?
We talked about the Bedwetter, which will be on Broadway this fall, allegedly. It's not announced yet, but
This will air before the fall.
I play
promise.
many different characters in it. I play all these weird, wacky characters, and I get to sing a lot, and I'm very happy to be with it. And
it's Bedwetter, and it's going to be
The Bedwetter.
The
right.
Bedwetter, and who's Sarah Silverman wrote it, or
Sarah Silverman. It's based on Sarah Silverman's book. She wrote
Okay.
it. She's not in it.
Right.
She's not in it. It's her as a little girl.
Okay.
The character's called Sarah Silverman.
Right.
Right. Her as a little girl, and they have a wonderful little actor playing.
who do you play?
I play many different roles.
Okay.
I play the psychiatrist who gets her hooked on Xanax.
Nice.
I have a huge song called Xanax.
Are you my psychiatrist?
Yes. I play a hypnotist who they take her to for the bedwetting problem.
Okay.
Then I play Johnny Carson, which is my dream.
Right.
Because I was doing Johnny Carson impressions since I was 15. I finally got a chance to use them.
There you
And then Phil Donahue, I play various announcers and uncles and things like
You're
that.
a huge part of the show.
I play about 7 different roles.
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's insane.
Yeah,
That's range.
Some of them longer than. Well, and it's rangy, and I like that.
Yeah.
What I try to do is
That sounds fun.
make the characters so different from one another that you can't tell it's the same actor.
Yeah.
I accomplished that with the psychiatrist and the hypnotist, because the hypnotist has got a beard and this weird hair and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't really look like the other guy at all. So yeah, it's great fun. As I tell the other actors, they have the hard job. They got to come out and tell the story. Then I come out, I chew up the scenery, and I leave.
You're a character, yeah.
I come. Then they got to tell the story. I come back on, I knock down the scenery, and I leave.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like Seth MacFarlane in Family Guy.
It is kind of like that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. That's fucking dope. So
yeah.
catch Bedwetter.
Right, and by the
fall.
way, our comedy classes are going into.
Oh yes.
The fall is now on sale. If you the fall through the winter, September through December.
Hit up comedycellar.com.
Yeah,
right?
and hit the classes,
Hit the
icon,
classes.
or comedycellarclasses.com.
Hit classes, yeah.
I won't be teaching in the fall because I'm doing the Broadway thing, but we have Veronica Mosey, who's been with us for 12 years, and her students love her.
Yeah,
she's a great teacher.
I've heard nothing but good things about her.
And she'll be teaching 3 classes a week, and a person filling in for me doing 3 classes a week will be Eddie Sarfati.
Okay.
Do you know Eddie Sarfati? A wonderful comedian.
I have not met him yet.
Wonderful comedian. He teaches at other places in the city.
Okay.
But I've known Eddie for 30 years, and he's a fantastic joke writer. The people who have studied with him tell me how wonderful he is. I said, is he as wonderful as me? And caring and nurturing? And they say, yes, he is. He's as caring and nurturing as you are. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I've known Eddie for a while. And so he'll be teaching our classes, again, limited 10 students per class, 5 classes plus 1 show. Okay. So just email me and I'll send you all the information. We also have occasionally, we'll have DC Benny is now doing a storytelling class for me in September. In June, and probably again in September. And his class is sold out already because it's so soon.
Yeah.
But
disregard.
And we may be adding things like an improv class or things like that. But we're going to stick to the model of quality.
Yeah, as you should.
Quality. And if we can't do the quality, we won't do as many classes.
And that's what you guys are known for is quality.
You give good, you get good.
Yeah. Agreed.
The money takes care of itself
Yeah.
if you're giving the best product you can at a reasonable price.
Exactly. But and the classes are always sold out. So fucking like when you fucking see the email and sign up right fucking away.
All right. But September, October, November, plenty of space.
Yeah. September, October, November.
Right. And now we're filming this in early May. So
this is May, and
so
I
if you see this
procrastinate.
2 months from now,
So this will air eventually, but before the fall, 100%. Yeah. This has been fucking great. Is there anything else you want to?
No, that's all I have to plug.
Anything else you want to say?
At the moment, I just I've enjoyed
we have
this.
nothing but time. I've enjoyed this very much too. Yeah.
Hopefully, some things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
You didn't bring up any of the things that are based on public record from the police department. I want to thank you for that.
No. I'm supposed to not say it, or else I get sued.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my people.
Yeah, your people were very strict about. There's a bunch of lawyers outside. You can't see them, but they're just like you can't say a lot of things.
So, well, my pleasure, my friend.
Rick, thank you very much.
It was a very manly handshake, wasn't it?
It was. It was the gayest handshake I've ever received.
It's not the gayest handshake you've ever had.
That's true.
Here.
The gayest handshake I ever had was with Nick Callis. When I gave him a hand job.
Well, that's a pretty gay handshake.
We gave each other a hand job.
Oh, that's not gay.
That's just what boys do.
That's
just guys fucking around.
That's just guy stuff.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
You do me, I'll do you.
Yeah.
Don't tell my girlfriend. It's only. Listen, if you didn't kiss, not gay.
Yeah, it's called a bro job.
It's a bro. No,
it's a bro job.
A blow job is actually a bro. Oh.
Well, but with your bros.
With your bros. Yeah. As long as you don't kiss, it's not gay. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, you can swallow the cum.
Oh, see, now why'd you have to go there?
I don't know. Because
we were doing so well without bodily fluid.
Were we?
But then you've brought it back to the cum, which is exactly where we started.
Yeah, that's the 9/11 of gay jokes. All right.
All right.
This is it. Thank you guys. Bye. Fuck you guys.
Don't show this to your children.
Show this to your kids. There's pedophilia jokes in it. That's a good way to end it, actually. Cut. Where am I? Yep, there I go. Look at me tooling around.
Man, tools around.
This is not a home improvement podcast.